Good morning, everyone. My name is Goziem Onuga, and I am your host today on today's episode of Lawyers Alerts Thursday Facebook Live series. We are going to be discussing on the topic social responsibilities of the government to its citizens. We are the citizens of Nigeria. Whether abroad or in Nigeria, we are the citizens. Now, for the purpose of what we intend to discuss, we are going to be focusing on the citizens within Nigeria at the moment. What are the social responsibilities of the government? Social responsibilities, basically, for starts, are the things that the government should do, of course, for the benefit of its citizens. Those are the responsibilities, their duties, what they should do, what they have been elected to do. That's for the people occupying the government spaces, the position within the government. Now, I'm going to be speaking to us, I'm going to also let us know the pillars of social responsibilities. There are several pillars, but for the purpose of what we are discussing, I'm going to just mention a few. Human rights, dignity, fairness, good and deserving environment. I am also going to let us into the responsibilities of the government. There are a whole lot of responsibilities that the government are supposed to do or carry out that for us, for its citizens, to benefit its citizens, because for all we know, they have been elected to serve us and not the other way around. There are a lot of them, but I'm going to mention perhaps two, just so that our discussion is limited to what my speech or whatever I'm going to say is limited to what we have to speak on for today. So the responsibilities of the government include promotion of democracy and social justice, and the provision of social welfare services. So what is social justice? Social justice includes everyone having equal opportunity equal opportunity to partake of what is due to him or her as a citizen. So where can we say, what can governments do for us to acknowledge that they are promoting democracy and social justice? And what can they also be doing for us to know and acknowledge that they are providing social welfare services? Look around us. Like I mentioned, the pillars of social responsibility. I spoke about human rights, I spoke about dignity, I spoke about fairness, I spoke about deserving and good environment. So we should look around us. What are the things around us that can improve? What are the things that are around us that should happen or that should be in place for us to say that the government is promoting democracy and social justice or providing social welfare services? This would also bring us, for the sake of emphasis, to the chapter 2 of our constitution, our 1999 constitution as amended. Now, there are several things enshrined in our chapter 2 of the constitution, in chapter 2 of our constitution. But I'm going to be specific and mention to us the social amenities that the government has the duty to provide to its citizens as a result of their being there, or these persons as a result of their being there as persons occupying certain positions in the government. There are social amenities like lights, good roads, water, sanitation. You know, all these things are the basic things that every government should provide. However, we know that there is this argument, or there is the perception, or there is the belief that chapter 2 of our constitution is not justiciable. Yes, I'm not going into deliberating whether it is actually justiciable or not justiciable. I also acknowledge that it is not justiciable. However, there is an exception, and which has been affirmed in several rulings of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, that something provided for in the chapter 2 of our constitution can be justiciable if a person's receipt or attainment of a particular destination or goal as a fundamental right is hinged on the person being able to access any of the provisions of the Chapter 2 rights. I may also reiterate, just so that we understand. So we have Chapter 4 of the Constitution, which speaks about fundamental rights. So these rights are justiciable. They are rights that everyone should attain. There are basic rights or basic goals that every human being that is a Nigerian should attain. And Chapter 2 is non-justiciable. There are other provisions in Chapter 2 which are not fundamental rights. So basically, I think I should explain justiciability. Justiciability connotes if someone can be able to access a court for redress, to say, this is something the government should do for me and it is not doing it, please compel the government to do it. So if no one can just go to court to say the government owes me this, then it means that that provision is not justiciable. So now, for a citizen to be able to attain that particular a level with regards to a particular provision of the Chapter 2, that has to be hinged on the person's ability or the person's ability to attain a particular goal as provided for in the Chapter 4, which is fundamental. So now, when we look at issues such as light, issues such as road, food, basic things that a human being should deserve, there is a particular thing that can make us drag the government into be accepting that they owe us these things as contained in the Chapter 2. Affordability is the word. Where an ordinary citizen cannot afford the basic means of livelihood and bread are being violated. If you recall, I started by giving us the pillars or the principles or the subjects of social responsibilities. And I mentioned human rights. I mentioned fairness. I mentioned good and deserving environment. I mentioned dignity for humans, for citizens of a particular place. So if someone is not able to afford a basic amenity, a basic service that can make the person feel like a human being, that can make the person know within him or herself that yes, I'm a human being and I am living well, then there is no affordability, and that of course tampers with the individual's human rights. So this is supposed to be a very brief discussion and expository into what is happening. I can give you instances of where and how common citizens, the ordinary people in Nigeria, in the society, are not able to afford basic things. We hear of the tariff, the light tariff that has been announced to increase. It was supposed to increase September and again have another increase in January, which increase for September has been suspended anyway. But this has happened before and we think it might happen again. Last time this thing came up, it was suspended and eventually it was increased. Foodstuffs have increased in the market. I can't even afford it. I am working, but I can't even afford certain things. I go to market today, beans is 1,000 naira. I go the following day, it is as bad as that. I go the following day, it has increased by 25%. I can't even buy a cup of beans or rice. I can't eat the things that should nourish my body, that I need. So will the government actually be able to stand and say that they are promoting democracy and social justice, or that they are providing social welfare services, or that they are according me my human rights as I deserve? This is something all of us should think of and ponder upon. And also I encourage everybody, after thinking this deeply, to discuss around us, form movements around us, peaceful movements. Movements can be groups having several discussions, engaging governments at different levels. We should do this because where things are on the increase every single day and it is getting worse. I have a lot of people who are on my neck for handouts. I can no longer afford what to eat, not to talk of giving people handouts on a daily basis. I encourage the government to see to this continuous increase or hike in prices, electricity tariff, food, supplements, everything that we deserve, we need to, everything that should be available to us for us to feel like human beings. It is no longer a joke, and that is the reason we are having this discussion today. I hope you join us in speaking about this and making Nigeria a better place. Thank you so much for being with us. Bye.